Committee will now come to order. With that, we will take up items 1 through 4 concurrently.
Items 1 through 4 have to do with a request from the Department of Water and Power to destroy certain obsolete records from the accounting division.
Is there any possibility that we can incinerate them, get some energy off of them?
Absolutely. They can be recycled.
In some fashion? Okay. My main question basically is to make sure that all of the process was completed, and it does require that the city clerk's office be involved, correct?
Absolutely, and the process has been adhered to. In fact, DWP has taken the extra step of contracting with an archivist who has reviewed the destruction request and verified that these are not historically significant records. These are routine accounting records.
Okay. Any questions?
I'd like to talk to the representative from 1908. Probably long gone. Huh?
You may have to consult a spiritual advisor to do that. I wouldn't suggest you pay for it, but if you want. Other than that, no other questions from the committee? Okay. Any comments from the public? I don't see any public comment cards on items 1, 2, 3, or 4. Seeing none, with that, we'll approve the city attorney report and resolutions on items 1, 2, 3, and 4. Thank you very much. Okay, now we go to item number 5.
On item 5, the city attorney has submitted a report and an ordinance regarding the sale of 2.81 acres of city-owned property located in the town of Independence in Inyo County to the California Department of Transportation. The Energy and Environment Committee has recommended approval of the sale.
Okay. And it appears that this involves the need for Caltrans, and it's my understanding that whenever we have surplus property, we're always supposed to give other municipal and or government authorities the first right of refusal. It appears that Caltrans does need this property. And any questions from the committee?
It's going to help Caltrans with their maintenance share. And the property's vacant now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I move for approval.
Pretty simple and straightforward. Okay. Any cards from the public? I don't see any. Anybody here to speak on item number 5 from the public? Seeing and hearing nobody come forward. Public comment on item number 5 is now closed. With that, the committee approves the city attorney report and draft ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
We now move to item number 6.
For item number 6, this is a motion from Ms. Han and Mr. Cardenas relative to a comprehensive update on the 311 program.
Okay. We're going to continue this item, but we're going to ask ITA to report back within 30 days. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good report. Any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll get a report back in 30 days so they can finalize all the details to update us on this motion.
Okay.
We'll let them.
Okay.
Thank you.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. Item number 7.
For item number 7, the city administrative officer has submitted a report as well as the Information Technology Agency, and this has to do with the execution of supplemental agreement number 2 to a contract with Channel 36 to provide citywide public access, educational, and community programming channel.
Okay. Would you like to apprise us of any changes or anything that may have occurred different than what we agreed to in the budget process? So this is consistent?
Yes.
It's consistent with the budget process. How is Channel 36 doing as far as we can tell with their obligations? We've burdened them with more and more obligations every year to privately fundraise and to figure out how to make up the difference to operate Channel 36. Is there any news coming from them? Are they having a hard time? Are they getting by? I mean, anybody aware of what they're going through over there?
Sure. This particular contract is a $50,000, $45,000 reduction over last year's. In the budget that they submitted as part of, as part of their requirements, it does appear that they have been able to make up that difference and then some with increased fees or revenues. So certainly, I'm sure they would prefer to get more resources from the city, and I'm sure they're having a hard time continuing to provide services, but they are finding a way to make up for the losses of city resources that have come. In addition, we also have required I think in 2008, that they pick up the slack that was dropped off from the cable companies when they stopped showing the public access programming. And as of this point, all public access programming that is submitted to Channel 36 is either broadcast on television on Channel 36 or posted on their website. So for those two additional requirements that we've sort of been putting on them for the last few years, they've been able to satisfy both of those.
Okay. Well, lucky them, because yes, it is kind of tough, and the city of Los Angeles has long been committed to public access television, and I think it's important for us to make sure that we keep that commitment. I've never heard elected officials in the city of Los Angeles turn away from that obligation and commitments, but unfortunately, it's requiring us to figure out within our own budget structure how we're going to make sure that we continue to do that. So my hat's off to Channel 36. They're not the most robust organization to go ahead and try to figure out where to get an additional $50, $100, $200,000, and yet they've been pretty good about doing everything that they can. Any questions from the committee?
No.
Okay. So with that, this committee will take two actions. Anybody here to speak on item number 7? I have no cards. Okay. Public comment on item number 7 is now closed. So with that, we'll approve the CAO report, but in addition to that, the committee instructs ITA to report back within 90 days on some recommendations on a potential permanent plan for providing public access within the city of Los Angeles. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, that's the action on item 7. Item number 8.
For item number 8, the Department of General Services has submitted a report requesting authority to negotiate and execute a new 50-year ground lease between GSD and the Harbor Department. This is on behalf of the Bureau of Sanitation, and it is for the continued use of the property located at 445 Ferry Street in San Pedro as a wastewater treatment plant and sewer outfall.
Rusty Jones, Sawyer, General Services. This is a 50-year lease for our Terminal Island wastewater treatment plant. It's been there for the last 50 years, and we're trying to extend it for another 50 years. It's a very essential plant within the sanitation operations. We've negotiated some favorable terms because they have to be at market right now because of the state lands and requirements that we do have to do at market. So there has been an increase in the rent. However, it is paid for directly by sanitation, and they're budgeted for it.
Okay. And the bill at this time is just over $1.1 million.
Yes.
And also there's a clause that allows every 5 years for appropriate value adjustments. I'm sure that's appraisal process, et cetera, right, as they evaluate every 5 years?
Correct. It's a very valuable piece of land in that area.
Okay. Any questions?
What else could they put on that land other than what's there?
Um,
Other than the wastewater treatment plant and sewer?
Well,
Out-
you know, that wastewater treatment plant is extremely important because otherwise,
What else can go there, is there?
Well, as long as the waste plant is there, I don't think they would.
no,
saying.
nothing else but the waste plant, correct.
It's not like you could put a department store or
Oh,
residential.
no, you would not want that, no.
So when you're talking about $1,139,297 annually in quarterly installments, well, that's a lot of money. There's not an opportunity for them to build there.
If they did not continue with the lease, the 50-year lease, and demo that land, demo that sanitation plant, and then decided to go out to the market, they could make quite a bit of money off of it,
Could do something
Yeah.
with that land.
yes.
I'm not-
But they would have to eliminate the sanitation
I'm not
plant,
familiar with
correct.
that site. Well,
Basically, it would be a conversion project. They would have to get rid of the old facility, and then all of a sudden, once they did that, then it would start look pretty good as far as,
what would they use if they didn't have that?
You know, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure in that San Pedro area, there could be some very good housing, some apartments, condos, or even just some industrial uses alone. There are a lot of different harbor uses that could be used for that area.
Okay.
yeah, but as long as it's a facility like it is right now, it doesn't look very attractive.
Not very attractive.
But actually, the rent looks like it comes out to less than $90,000 a month, at least as it looks right now. And we're talking about 21 acres plus 3.4 acres of right-of-way. So
Okay.
when you break it down per acre or what have you, it doesn't sound all that much, especially when you're looking at west side property that's that close to the water. So With that, we are on item number 8. Is there
Mr.
anybody from
Chair?
the public? Yes.
My understanding is that there is a slight amendment on the early termination clause.
Yes, I believe it's been negotiated that there will be no early termination. And obviously, there's just concern that we get there, and the Harbor Department wanted early terminations, but my
So that
understanding,
secures the stability?
this
is what you're
secures the
saying.
stability of it.
Okay, so they were able to agree on a clause that secures the stability for the next 50 years?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, we're in big trouble if we have to lose this facility.
Will we be here in 50 years?
Not me. Well, maybe. I won't be, I'll be kind of slow by then, but
Slower.
3 years away from my 100th birthday.
You'll be slower.
Okay. All right. Edo will be here.
We'll be like the 1908 records. Okay.
Item number 8, public comment is open. I don't see any public comment cards here on item 8. See no one come forward. Public comment on item 8 is now closed. With that, as amended, the committee approves the GSD report. Okay, thank you. We move now to item number 9.
For item number 9, it is the Department of General Services again, and this has to do with the request for authority to negotiate and execute a new lease agreement for the Office of the Mayor. This is for a property located at 1400 K Street in Sacramento.
This lease is basically for our Sacramento lobbyists, which is under the Office of the Mayor at 1400 K Street. It's in the building for the League of California Cities. They requested to be in that building because obviously it has a lot of synergy working with other cities and is very close to the Capitol. And so General Services is recommending that we move forward with renewal of this lease.
Well, I can't vote for it unless the building is LEED certified. You know if the building's LEED certified?
Don't know.
As a matter of fact, it is. The League of Cities owned the building for some years. I'm on the board of League of Cities, and they just refurbished it, and they did go for LEED certification, and they get LEED certified. So you're lucky.
Maybe they're
Just wanted to see if you knew. See, you didn't know.
didn't know.
It's a nice facility. In the last 12 months, they finally reoccupied it, and it actually did a great job. It's all the way around great project. And you're right, it's a good place to be. Other cities, municipalities are leasing space in that building owned by the League of Cities, so it is good synergy for us to be in there. Any questions?
It says but the league would not agree to all the city's contract compliance ordinance. What does that mean? It says the council had authorized GSD to renew the lease through 2006, but the league would not agree to all the city's contract compliance ordinances. In 2008, the league completed major renovation, et cetera. During this work, all tenants were required to relocate while the building was under construction. All tenant costs were paid by the league. And my question is, if they didn't agree in 2006 to all the city's contract compliance ordinances, how has that been resolved, or has it been resolved?
I think they got special dispensation back then. It was, in fact, I think the president of the council was president of the League of Cities at that time, and we were working real hard for them to comply with one of our provisions. The league represents a lot of different cities that have different opinions about one of the provisions in in our leases, and so it was felt that we should move forward, and it was approved without approval of that one stipulation.
How can we do that? We have
By council action, you can do that.
the city's contract, there's a contract compliance ordinance, and we made an exception for that?
Yes.
Didn't it have to do with the displacement when they were renovating the building? Or is it going forward?
It was going forward. What the specific provision would be equal benefits. And I think at the time, politically, not every member of the League of Cities was in line with that. And so, I guess when it was brought to the board, they couldn't get full approval or sign off on that one provision.
Any questions?
I just like clarification of that. I'm going to recommend approval, but we need clarification before it goes to council.
Okay,
Yes.
when it gets to
Verify
council,
that.
if you can clarify that.
Sure.
Yeah.
That aspect of, the league would not agree to all the city's contract compliance ordinances, and if that has been resolved, how it was resolved. Just so we'll have that for the record, because it's noted
Yes.
in this report.
Mm-hmm.
So that it leaves an open-ended question.
All right.
So I'd move for approval with that information coming back before it goes to council. I mean, move it forward to council, but have that information before it appears on the council agenda, that one aspect.
Okay, so we'll schedule it for council, but before we need to make sure, as we do so, that GSD confirms that they're ready to present the information as requested by Councilmember Zine. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so get that clarification for us, Reggie. And it is a great location, by the way, really, really good.
I've been there, it's a good place.
Okay, is there anybody here to speak on item number 9? Anybody from the League of Cities? Seeing none. Public comments closed on item number 9. With that, the committee approves the GSD report and requires that GSD make that clarification that was asked for by Mr. Zine. Okay. Now we'll move to item number 10.
For item number 10, you have motion before you from Councilmember Smith and Zine relative to the execution of an agreement granting the county a right of entry into the San Pedro Hill and Mount Lucas properties. This is for the procurement, installation, repair, and maintenance of an interruptible power source system.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
So, one of,
Larry Jania, with ITA.
I'm sorry, your name again?
Mirdad Larry Jania, ITA.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't allowing ourselves to be stuck with any accidental building or anything like that, because there's going to be some upgrades going on there, right, on behalf of the county?
The benefactor is, it's really the city of LA.
Okay. Okay, so the bottom line is that we were appropriately so taking on the responsibilities of the equipment, et cetera, and
I think it's just the entry, the right to enter.
but there's equipment there.
Yes,
Did I read
I'll be glad to give you a
Yeah,
quick briefing on it. Yes, we have some equipment at these two key public safety communication facilities that have passed their life cycle and haven't been able to manage to get the funding to replace them. And those are the key components that ensure that the sites are up and running during a power outage. We have had a short opportunity through the joint effort with county, with the Los Angeles Regional Interoperable Communication System efforts that we're going forward with them, to go ahead and have them assist us with this process. And essentially what we're doing is replacement of the equipment that has passed its life cycle with these new equipment.
Okay. And who's responsible for all of what department is going to pick up the cost and all that?
It would be essentially at no cost to the city. The county is sponsoring the procurement of the equipment.
So I'm a little confused.
Please.
Good afternoon, Councilman Eileen Decker from the Mayor's Office. Perhaps I can give some clarity. The city and the county are working with, as was stated, the LA RICS project, through which we've gotten a number of grants. The county is responsible or has control over one grant that is time sensitive. They need to spend the money, or the money has to essentially be returned to the grantor. They came up with a list of projects that could be done in a very time-efficient manner,
Okay.
including the replacement of this equipment, which is needed for the broader LA RICS project. That grant money will pay for the equipment, replace our old equipment.
Okay, so the bottom line is, it's clear that that grant money can be used for this. The county who controls that grant agreed to do so. Even though the city is involved, the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we're comfortable and confident that the grant will cover the cost.
Yes, they just need access to the property to replace the equipment.
Okay?
And move that item, please.
Okay. All right, thank you. We have a motion. Is there anybody here to speak on item number 10 from the public? Seeing and hearing none. Public comment on item number 10 is now closed. The motion was to adopt the motion before us, and the item is approved. Thank you. We now are on item number 11.
For item 11, there is a motion from Councilmember Parks and Cardenas relative to a city response to 3 Los Angeles County grand jury reports that provide recommendations regarding the operations of city departments and functions on Los Angeles parks, Water for Los Angeles County, and Building and Safety.
Okay. It's my understanding that there still needs to be some written responses from some of the departments as referenced in this grand jury report. So with that, Mr. Zion, what I'd like to do is give the departments an additional 45 days to complete their reports.
That's right.
Okay, all right. So with that, this item will be moved forward for another 45 days to be heard in this committee, and hopefully continued, and hopefully all the departments will have been ready by then to give their full written reports. Okay, thank you. So with that, those are the 11 items on the agenda. Is there anybody here for general public comment? General public comment is now open for this committee. Seeing and hearing no one come forward on general public comment is now closed. With that, this committee is now adjourned.